Gentlemen, let's move straight to our next conversation, straight to Oyo State. It's royal heritage, royal rumble and mumble in Oyo State as the state's governor, Makinde, inaugurated the Olubadan of Ibadan, Oba as the inaugural chairman of the newly reconstituted Oyo State Council of Obas and Chiefs. This came after the Alaafin of Oyo State was stripped of its status as the permanent chairman of the council under the amended Oyo State Council of Obas and Chiefs Law 2025, recently passed by the State House of Assembly. Governor Makinde announced that the chairmanship of the council would rotate every 2 years among the three leading traditional rulers in the state, namely the Alaafin of Oyo, the Olubadan of Ibadan, and the Sonwo of Ogbomoso. The Alaafin of Oyo, Oba Akim was conspicuously absent at the event. Okay, gentlemen of the press. Now, Governor Makinde has reconstituted the Oyo Council of Obas. Now, with the Olubadan, Oba as the chairman. But this news actually generated a lot of reactions. But talk to me. Well, what was your reaction?
My reaction is that first, I think it was August last year that when this matter first came up, it was Asuko and Another they actually broached the subject at that time. I remember saying that the politicians should leave the traditional institutions alone because they've self-existed for how many centuries? They didn't have problems. They had a way, even when the Oyo of Ife that died before this one came, and you saw how we didn't get to see all this, whether it's going to be Alaafin, whether it's going to be until, I think they said, but until they now move Oshun out of Oyo and all that, then they were able to resolve that. So, but you see, for me, I think, in fairness to the governor, I think he traced the instability in the council to from 2011 that they've been neither here nor there, neither until they came up with, okay, what do we do? We have about three powerful paramount rulers in this state. How can just the president or the chairmanship just reside in one palace force? So why don't we just find a way to look for what I may call a collegiate chairmanship? Where collegiate chairmanship, where, for instance, you do it for 2 years, I do for 2 years, then you can't defrain enough of the Ibadan people. Same thing in Ogbomoso and same thing in Oyo State. But it's the Oyo that is the problem because that stool has retained it for as long as we can remember. And then for instance, I mean, a few days ago, remember that Alaafin was sitting down when the Olubadan came, and then there was a handshake extended and was rejected. And so I think that's exactly, and then the man didn't come today now. That's why we are saying. But I think for me, I would rather just wait for us to see in the coming days. Let's see what this 2-year chairmanship of Olubadan will be before they know whether they're going to be whether they can work together. Because he said he spoke to the three of them, they all agreed. So it's not a unilateral decision by the governor or by the government. So the three of them they were consulted, they've been working on the modalities and they how to work. So for me, I think we should just wait and see what
now he said that let these politicians
they leave the stool.
What the governor's done, do you agree with it? To make it rotational instead of just permanent,
I will make a confession here. When I saw this story as an editor, I tried to play down the controversy surrounding it. When they say the governor announces him as the chairman of the traditional council in Oyo State, so person was conspicuously absent. I removed conspicuously absent.
Exactly. That wasn't necessary.
As the editor, I edited that out.
Yes.
Leave this decision alone. But later on, there was a follow-up that the Alaafin of Oyo, I don't know how true that is, said that it was not consulted. Whether journalists are trying to bring up issues or that is the true state of things, I do not want to dabble into it. What is most important is, and I think that's what the governor is trying to do, kingdom should not be rated above other kingdom. This is our kingdom. This is who we are. This is our ruler. And therefore, let it be said that when you now make it permanent in Oyo Empire, You have told the Ibadan people that they are not as important as the Alaafin, and you have also told the son of Ogbomoso that they are also not important. I think that's the politics the politician is bringing into it.
No, but we can't take away hierarchy here.
Well, no, these are all first-class Obas. That's the point I'm making.
But when you go into history, traditions,
that's what I'm saying.
there's hierarchy
When you not going into history, tradition, should the governor even be higher than the Oba in the first place? I'm talking about the reality of evolution. Evolution has come. These people, they get their money from the governor. And he will... What's that?
And he's the one who gives them the staff of office.
He's the one that gives them the staff of office. So if you go into history, if you go into tradition, the tradition has
they're under the local government.
You understand? So the tradition has already been impacted on. Make no mistake about it. But what we are seeing, so when you are dealing with these Obas, it's a sensitive issue, and I don't think any Oba should feel bad that for 2 years I'm not the chairman. That should not reduce you in any shape or form. It doesn't reduce your power. 2 years is very, very fast.
But the fact that the Alaafin of Oyo was not consulted.
No,
before this
allegedly.
Decision. Okay, allegedly. Not consulted.
Well, consulted, there are two matters.
You know, because it's a traditional thing.
No, consulted, the arrangement of the
let's say carried along
was not consulted
before that decision
the
was
inauguration. We had to also look at that.
No, there are two issues. It is the permanency thing, you know, before now, it's a permanent thing.
Yes.
But they've already, effected that law in the state to say that, hey, let there be a rotation. And this is the first time, they are making it come to pass.
But the governor has said, if you look at the report, the governor said that they've been talking. They've been talking. The three of them, he says so. They've been talking out the
That's
modalities.
what the report says, that the Alaafin is denying.
But the governor,
that was not carried along.
Carried along means what? I mean, you can also define carried along. Carried along is that when you consulted, did they agree with you? That's, if I didn't agree, that's also can also mean carried along. If I didn't agree with you, then there's no...
Because people start reading meanings. The fact that the Alaafin of Oyo was not present there.
Yeah, that's what Kayode said.
All sorts of meanings.
That's what Kayode... Because you know why? Because again, we find a way to use riders. Riders in... Riders now become the fulcrum of the voting, leaving the banner headline. Now, the thing is that, you remember a few days, as I said, they came to an occasion, somebody was sitting down, extending hand. Again, they built up to this level where this... So I'm sure people are tying into that, okay, if you disgrace me or if you discredited whatever, why should I have 10? So, as I said, we should just let it be for now. Because the very moment the politicians stepped in and they now took over the affairs of the traditional institution, there was going to be a problem. If you look at it, Oyo Empire, we read it in school. Remember in those days? We didn't hear anything about permanent presidency or permanent chairmanship. Oyo was a distinct and independent kingdom.
Reduce them.
The Ogbomoso was an independent. But it was when we all became a state, as a country, that all this way wet market now began to give us this thing. So how was it before today?
No, but some people say, based on traditional and all of it, the stories we heard, that the Oyo Empire, the Alaafin of Oyo, is territory, goes as far as Benin Kingdom.
So
that's so large.
Has that changed? That has not changed.
You see how
all right, we have Yakub calling in. Yakub.
Yeah. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah, thank you very much. Good evening, everybody in the studio. Good evening, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm from Oyo State.
Oh, okay, good.
I'm from Ghana, precisely. And then my king happened to be the secretary of Council of Oba in Oyo State. I think what the governor is trying to do is, number one, the politics is already there. And then if you remember, these things have been trying to do this for a long period of time when the late Oba of Alaafin Adeyemi Kubabayi was there. But they found it difficult to do that. But now, I think what the governor is doing, to me, this is my own personal opinion, and then I start to be quoted anyway. For the rotation of the leadership of the Obas in Oyo State, I think it's okay. It's just 2 years. But the only thing I see there is that I want to use this opportunity to pass a message to the Oba Rashidi. the Alaafin of Oyo, Alaafin of Ibadan. So, because the last time that both of them met in location was, I think, the rift is still there. Even though the Alaafin of Oyo claimed that he was not carried along, I don't think it's true. I stand to be corrected. That if the governor can come out and say that he has spoken to the three of Obas, and then can you say that the governor is lying?
Thank you.
Now,
well,
let me say,
very
in other places, for instance,
just in 30 seconds.
Where I come from, in Edo, for instance, we all know that the Oba Bini is permanently the head. Now, that's why if you go, traditionally, you can't, there's no other kingdom within the head that we answer Oba. If you go to it and say Onoge, if you go to my place, either Oleje or whatever, if you go to Esako, the Oba, that name, that title Oba is reserved for the Bini. So we already know that one. Nobody, I can't be today, maybe in my village, I say I'm Oba. So no, we already know that. So that's why I'm saying that before now, what existed